Okay, I'm going to be picking up all the leaves in the backyard today. Did the front yard yesterday. This setup works really well. Got the Ohio Steel lawn sweeper. I think it's 50 inches. And then just my zero-turn mower and my Ego backpack blower. This is the one with the 2 batteries. It works really well. I've heard you're not supposed to tow too much with these zero turns because the hydrostatic little transmissions in the back can't pull too much. But I don't think it's too bad on this. Seemed to be acting fine yesterday, so let's get to work. So the first thing I do is blow the leaves away from the trees, get them away from the fences. You got to put them in spots where you can do straight line driving and no sharp turns, because towing that thing, you can't do the zero turn. And the more you blow the leaves around, the looser they get, so the sweeper will pick up even more of them. So this is actually helping in the long run. You also want to make sure the piles aren't too big, because it'll block up the wheels and they won't spin, and then the sweeper won't work. I think this should be good though. I'm picking up any big sticks I find that are gonna hem up the mechanism in the sweeper, but be able to start getting it out here pretty soon. So at this point, I got my mower out here and start making the passes. You can see it does a really good job picking them up. Some of the piles were a little bit too tall, so I was pushing the leaves around with the front of the mower. That's why you see some of it when you back up, it's out there in front. I ended up raising the deck as high as it would go. But still, after a while, I think it was pulling a little too much on and putting too much stress on the hydrostatic transmissions, because the steering got a little sluggish. So once I stopped doing this, I let it cool down for a while. I'm not sure if the hydraulic fluid was hot or how those things work exactly, but by the time I was done mowing the lawn, it was back to normal. So this is my least favorite part of the process. Gotta bag up all the leaves. I don't have woods, everything around is my neighbor's, so I can't just put it on a tarp and drag it out in the woods and dump it and let it mulch down. So I bag it all up, get it out there for the trash man to pick up. I started out using an 8-inch by 8-inch tamper, but every time you tamp it down, leaves pile up on top of it. So I ended up using a Home Depot bucket. It worked a whole lot better. But anyway, I'm not convinced I saved a whole lot of time by using the sweeper, but it's more fun. I mean, I probably could have just raked up piles of leaves around the tree and just carried my rakes and trash can to each pile. But, you know, whenever you can use a machine to do something, it's just more fun. You get to drive around and play with your toys. So when I actually started mowing, there was still some leaves on the ground, but nothing I couldn't just mow over and mulch up. So I start by going back and forth one direction, and then it would have been enough if there were no leaves, but when you're mulching up all this stuff, it's really important to go 90 degrees off, or just maybe a little bit off from 90. That way you're really mulching everything up and you don't have a bunch of crap sitting on your lawn anymore. You could always go back over it with the sweeper, pick up whatever little leaves or grass clippings, but that just seems a little bit over the top for me. So this worked. Got all finished, put the trampoline back, backyard's done. Okay, backyard is done, cleaned up, tools are all put away. Final thoughts. Lawn sweepers are pretty cool. I like it. I toyed around with the idea of getting one of those leaf vacuums that you wear the bag on your back and you suck up all the leaves and it mulches them, but it seemed like that would have taken way too long and you'd still have to rake them into piles to get them all. So lawn sweeper works really well. If you had a big yard where the leaves are spread out, it'd be a lot more useful. For me, it seemed like every time I make a pass, I'm emptying it out again because there were so many leaves. And I think that's just because I waited too long to do it. Anyway, I think it's a pretty cool tool. They're always fun to play with, and I would endorse it. If you want to get a lawn sweeper and you're on the fence, just get it. They're cool. And they take up a ton of room in your garage, though. I'm sure you can break it down, but once you break it down, you're probably not going to use it nearly as much. So make sure you have space in your garage to put the darn thing. But if you do, have at it, man.